let's shift gears. Let's talk about Road Warrior Animal. Meltzer would write a few notes on the condition of Road Warrior Animal. I want to get the story straight because there've been a few errors reporting it over the past week or so. Animal was legitimately injured on January 29th in Pittsburgh. Warlord, not Barbarian, gave Animal a Samoan drop, and either he executed it wrong or Animal took the bump wrong, or there was just a freak injury accident. But it smashed the bone above Animal's eye. The extent of the injury wasn't known at the time, and he went to Greensboro for the bench press contest the next day. And originally they were going to use heavier weights before shooting the angle, but apparently they were afraid of having Animal lift more than 500. He reportedly can do more than 580, while Barbarian can do 570 and Warlord can do 600, but Hawk isn't in that league when it comes to a bench press max. But because of the pressure on the eye, they didn't want him lifting that heavy weight. So Meltzer says, I'm told the weights in the bench press contest were legit, as opposed to Titan, which used fake weights for Dino Bravo's 712 pound press. However, the amount of weight Paul Jones was calling out was often wrong. The original plan was for all three except Hawk to go around 550 and then have Jones call for 600 before Hawk did his lift. And apparently that's when the angle would occur. Anyway, that's when Animal went to the hospital with a detached retina, broken bone in his eye. The initial word was the injury was 1,000 times worse than it appeared to be. An Animal had eye surgery and there were fears he could lose the eye, but those fears have apparently been quelled. So first of all, a lot to unpack here. Before we talk about Animal's injury, what was the fascination in this era with the stupid bench press contests that we saw all the time in wrestling?
That is a great question that I swear to God, I wish I had the answer for. I guess it was just that macho thing. We're wrestlers, we're bigger than you, we're stronger than you. And that's why you should love us. That's why you should pay money to come see us, because we have great bench press numbers. I found it to be boring. The angle was boring to call. It was an angle alert waiting to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was spontaneous or organic. And it was, I thought, just poorly produced. I don't know why the hell we did it. After you get over the first minute, when you see all these guys out there in their, Gold's Gym tank tops and their Zubaz pants or whatever, and their fanny packs, faces painted, et cetera, you kind of seen all of it. Because after that, it's just going to be weights that you're not sure are real or not. And the question then would be to me, and what I would say is, does it matter?
Right.
It was a poorly produced angle that meant shit. And the other thing about it is that what kind of match do you think you're going to have with the Road Warriors and Barbarian and Warlord? Is that going to be Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express level tag match? No. Arn and Tully? Any of those guys? No, of course not. So you're booking a match that can't be great, and you're doing it with an angle that will never be great or accepted. So I don't know the answer to that, but it's almost like a lot of these promoters had all the size. That's why, maybe I'm guilty of this deal too. Until I got to AEW, size was everything to me as far as pro wrestler is concerned, by and large. And I don't have that same philosophy. I've grown out of that because I've seen some kids that are not huge, that have big hearts, big super heavyweight hearts, but they're not big in size. And it pisses me off when people knock guys because they're not huge and they can't fight, and this guy can't do this, and nobody would notice him in the airport, and all this other dog shit. Get over it. The only thing that matters, Conrad, in pro wrestling is the reaction one can earn from the audience who have bought a ticket and are there to enjoy the action. That's all that matters. The audience is what matters. But the bookers, being ex-wrestlers more often than not, being big stars, they think they're still big stars. They think they have all the goddamn dancers. They think angles like this are interesting to the public. And what that tells me is that you are out of touch with your target demographic. And there's a lot of wrestling promotions right now that are damn sure out of touch with their target demographic.
Let's talk about Animal's injury here. Do you remember him sustaining the eye injury and how, does it change sort of the way anybody performs in the ring, or are you guys a little more cautious? Are there certain moves that get restricted? Is there any heat on anybody when a guy like this has an injury and tries to do the old, well, I'm going to rub some dirt on it and keep going, 'cause that's what everybody did in the era. But then they realize, oh shit, man, he was in a bad way. Does that change anything? Or is it just business as usual?
Business as usual. That's the wrestling business. Business as usual. Changes nothing. Like right now, the business is being changed by circumstances beyond anyone's control, and it's going to be changed in a big way for several months, maybe several. We don't know. It's unknown. We've been on this journey before. We have no idea, but it is business as usual, and that's normally the answer you'll get on questions like this. Did you change this? Did they change that? Well, sometimes you get a good answer, and you get things that are changing for the better to protect the talents better. But as a rule, business as usual.
Let's keep it moving here. Let's talk about some news that's coming in from the TV side of things. Meltzer would report WTBS has extended its contract with Jim Crockett Promotions through 1994. The new format for TBS has changed once again. The Saturday morning show, which lately was taped old studio matches plus one decent house show match, will now become the NWA Pro Show on a 1 week delay. The Saturday afternoon night for you Eastern folks will almost always be done in studio, while the Sunday show will be done at the arena every week starting in April, either on April 3rd or April 10th, and will show quality main event caliber matches. The new Sunday show will only air 3 or 4 matches in the hour, giving them time to have a decent length match and a 20-minute main event. The Sunday show is being groomed specifically to get TV ratings, while the Saturday show is being groomed to build up house show business. The syndicated ratings will now include the TBS package, so the Wrestling Network, with the addition of TBS to its syndicated package, will move up to an 8.5 level, actually just a 1.5 behind Titan, which in theory should make them substantial income through television ad sales. And you were involved at different times in all of this with the television ad sales piece. What's the strategy in sort of hitting the reset button and adjusting the content of the shows this way?
Well, it was thought to be a strategic move. Obviously, it was just what I recall out of that scenario is that TBS did not have a viable sales arm to properly monetize the ad time in our shows.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.